So Cork beat Tipperary by 2 points at Páirc Uí Chaoimh in the second league game of the year. I mean, the importance is obviously there for Cork because they'd faded out so badly after starting well against Waterford. Created 42 chances, scored 26 of them. There's actually just one more chance than Tipperary with 41 and converted 5, so there ends up being a 2 point difference. And obviously the goals were crucial there. I think even though he only came on in the first half, Darragh Fitzgibbon was man of the match, came on the 20th minute and ran Tipperary fairly ragged throughout the game in terms of what he scored. Got a couple of points, one freeze, definitely also assisted. Mark Coleman came on as well for Tim O'Mahony. Probably still want to see a little bit more out of the likes of him because he has that quality. Robbie O'Flynn with 1-3, very, very good. Aidan Walsh, I think, was a bit better than he had been against Waterford in his 20 minutes. Even though he hit a couple of wides, he did get a point and looked lively. One of the big things it's not the be-all and end-all result of this game, but a lot of times in these league games, you're trying to find out what matchups work for you and what problems can you sort of create for the opposition. And I mean, in 2010, people looked at Ezekiel Halpine causing a bit of problems for Tipperary, and then the champion, they only had him in there briefly in full forward, and in the championship he went to town on Tipperary. So for Tipperary, or for Cork even, I should say, against Tipperary, what are the things that they know are going to cause Tipperary problems? And it's the speed. For example, Sean O'Donoghue on Jake Morris, and I know Jake Morris ended up with a couple of scores, but he definitely did have a problem with Sean O'Donoghue's speed. So that might be a matchup if that works out. Now maybe it'll be very different in the summer because Morris has shown flashes that he has goals and points in him. Who's going to mark Darragh Fitzgibbon for Tipperary, because the pace probably isn't there. Another one is Alan Cadigan. Without doubt, he was absolutely on fire from the get-go. Anytime the ball goes into him, his touch is just so instant, and he turns and goes at you straight away. He's a great sort of, I suppose every team would love to have pace like that. And if you looked at that Tipperary forward line, I know Cian D'Arcy got 2, Morris got 2, Ford got 1 from play, John McGrath got 4, Mark Keogh got 4. Michael Breen didn't score, and he was taken off in the first half. And again, much like midfield, having him wing forward here, I think further back closer to his own goal is where I think you might get more out of him. Paddy Maher scored 3 points from the half back line. The big interesting one in the first half was Paddy Cadell, despite scoring 2 points, and he did. Like I was trying to watch this now carefully because I only got back to watch this late because I've been in Castlebar seeing Mayo Dublin, but I'd heard that he'd been taken off in the first half despite scoring 2 points, and I was trying to figure out who's he marking, and he was definitely on Luke Meade at the very start. Then at different times, and obviously you don't see the full picture and the full spread of the field when you're watching it back on TV, so someone might correct me on this and feel free to comment in. He seems to be picking up Seamus Harnedy at times. He was taken off afterwards based on a tweet from Shane Brophy from the Nina Guardian. There was a back problem which seemed a little bit at odds with the conversations he was having on the sideline. He had been treated just before that, which I was wondering, was that for a head issue or something like that? But either way, he was taken out. Tip, of course, could have won the game, even though I never really felt, as I was watching it, I never felt that Tipperary were the better team. You wonder what sort of ball has been played into the inside forward line. Never thought Tipperary looked like a massive threat in there, precisely because the ball going in wasn't great. I don't think Robert Downey ever had to deal with anyone running at him. Don't think Sean O'Donoghue or Colm Spillane. I mean, Colm Spillane did fine, but I'm not really sure he was ever in the game. A couple of goal chances at the end. John McGrath hit one low at Patrick Collins, who stopped it well, and then Seamus Callanan had a one-handed flick at a shot also. Other than that, I suppose for Cork, they'd like to see a little bit more from Patrick Horgan in terms of from play. He was involved in a couple of scores, and he hit over a lovely one himself. But from 2 games, that's just a point from play, so he'd probably expect a little bit more. I think Declan Dalton probably had a tough time of it, taken off scoreless. And otherwise, Cork just delighted to get the result. I think for Tipperary, the pressure is kind of off because they are All-Ireland champions and there's an experimental element to the team. Jerome Cahill came in, showed a little bit of pace. Other than that, yeah, just the forwards probably not firing for Tip at the moment, even though like some of them did get on the score sheet, but didn't look like though it was particularly cohesive and flowing. And for Cork, Robbie O'Flynn has to be mentioned. I mean, Seamus Harnedy got a couple of scores, Alec Cadigan got 4, but Robbie O'Flynn's pace now, and that goal probably should have been stopped by Brian Hogan. I'm sure he was fairly disgusted looking at his hurley to see if there was a hole in it afterwards, but it wasn't. But yeah, definitely Cork, couple of points there, delighted to get on the board, and Tip, they'll want to follow suit pretty soon. But either way, I'd say winning the league to either of these teams isn't the biggest thing in the world. Thanks for watching our game. Don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.